Kwasi here, and in this video, I want to share with you the mirror principle of reality and really how to use it to influence all of these events that are happening in your life and how to really influence your own luck. This is the very reason why some people just keep getting luckier and luckier and just keep riding that high without ever falling off. And I promise you, if you stick around till the end of this video, this is going to make so much sense. And also I'm going to share with you the 3 keys to actually using this in your life and becoming a master of your own reality. Before I begin this video, I wanted to quickly announce that I'm doing a free giveaway of my book, Life Mastery. If you want to enroll into a competition to win this book for completely free in the ebook format, just comment Life Mastery down below. And every single Friday, we'll be picking one lucky winner to get this book for free in the ebook format. And also, I'm super excited to announce that the free one-to-one consult with me for the Reality Mastery program is now open. So make sure you wait till the end of the video for the announcement on that. And with that, let's get started with this video. So in this video, I want to talk to you about this mirror principle of reality and really why this is probably the closest model there is to influencing reality. And over the past few years, I've learned a lot about the law of attraction. I've learned a lot about manifestation, influencing the subconscious mind, but there are a lot of holes in that. Okay, your mind won't want to accept all of this woo-woo stuff because it needs proof. If you don't give your mind proof, it'll never believe anything. Okay, it'll just be some concept, some outer world concept. You'll not accept it. It's kind of like you work at the same principles with one mentor and it doesn't work because you don't resonate with the mentor. But if you resonate with the mentor you're working with, then you start getting crazy results with it because you accept the knowledge. Okay, so this is the very thing that makes sense for all of you who are analytical, who really want to understand how reality works. And this is the most powerful model I've found that's personally worked for me. Okay, so please make sure you stick around to the very end. So this mirror principle is essentially summed up as follows. Reality is a mirror that reflects your relationship to it. Okay? Reality is a mirror that reflects your relationship to it. What do I mean by that? Well, it's like this. Whatever attitude you have towards life, that's what's going to unfold. If you look at a pessimist, they're always like, life sucks. And then more things happen that shows them life sucks. And they're like, see, told you, life sucks. They form the attitude. And then reality reflects this attitude. So if you look at this mirror, and let's say here is an image of a stick figure. This is the image. This is the reflection. Let's call him Bob. Okay? So when Bob stands in front of the mirror, gets a reflection, this is it. Okay? Whatever image you're forming with your attitude. The reflection is formed with your attitude. So this is how it works in reality. If Bob is like, life sucks, that's the image that's formed. Okay? So, life sucks. And then reality's mirror says, you think life sucks? You're right. Life does suck. And then reality gives you more proof that life sucks. And more bills come up, more tragedies happen, more failed businesses happen, more failed relationships happen. Right? Because this is your attitude. This is what you're focusing on. It's really simple to look at if you can get very objective with it. If you can take a step back from your life, objectively assess all of these events and all of these things that have happened, and you see the general pattern that's been happening, you see the problem is you. It's not life, it's you. Why do some people just keep on having good luck over and over again, but some people just have a string of bad luck? Something within you is causing this, right? It's this. It's this attitude you have towards life. Your attitude isn't serving you. Unless and until your attitude changes, life is going to keep reflecting that. So a conscious effort needs to be made to change your attitude. Okay? And when I mean conscious effort, it means something uncomfortable has to happen. It's not comfortable to be like, great, life's great. But also it's difficult to do that and really difficult to believe that when there is no proof that your life is great. And it's going to be difficult to find proof that your life is great because you've been so accustomed to thinking life sucks, and there is such overwhelming evidence that your life sucks. Okay? This is what we do. We look at the past for evidence of what our life should be. So this whole creation of reality business, what I want you to remember is it happens with a delay. Reality makes this reflection with a delay. What I mean by that is if you raise your hand right now, you form the image, reality takes a little bit of time to raise its hand. The reflection takes a little bit of time to raise its hand. This is what we call the delay principle. Okay? This is why instant manifestations are a thing that's like bullshit. It's like, this is an instant manifestation. But it's not. It's something from the past that's showing up now. There's no such thing as a miracle in reality. If you read Think and Grow Rich, I was reading that last night. Napoleon Hill was talking about how there is no such thing as a miracle in reality. It's all operating within nature's laws, whether you understand it or not. The mind can't conceive of the power nature has. So it thinks that it knows what's best. You're like a little child. You think you know what's best for you, but you don't. This is life's way of delivering to you to your goals. So sometimes when these perceived bad things happen, what we do is we say, life sucks. Man, I wanted to get to 100K months, but now I just lost 10K this month. I made a loss in my business. Life sucks. And then what happens is you initially have a good attitude and you're like, I'm going to get to 100K months. I'm going to do it. That's what I want. That's what I intend. Life's like, great, let's make it happen. But then when you see the negative 10K month, you're like, shit. Life sucks. And then life's like, great, it does suck. Here you go, more losses. So that's what keeps happening. So this is why you kind of go up, but then you come down, and then you keep going up and down because you think you know what's best for you, but you don't. And you get attached to these short-term results rather than looking at the bigger picture of your life. So whenever these short-term things don't go your way, look at the big picture of it. What is it that you want? Maybe this is life's way of delivering to you that longer-term goal. Learn to look 10, 20, 30 years from now, right? So understand that this mirror of reality also works with a delay. The thoughts and attitudes you have now are slowly creating the life you're going to create that's going to manifest tomorrow. You've got to give it a little bit of patience. And don't lose your faith. Don't start doubting, because when you start doubting yourself, you take one step forward when you're like, oh yeah, life's going to be great. Everything's great. And then you doubt yourself, you go right back to where you started. No movement happens. You stagnate. You stay at the same position. It's not even the doubts that are the problem. The doubts happen because your mind can't conceive of this happening. It's like, is it really going to happen? What? That's so good to be true. When our clients set these big goals, they're like, wow, am I really going to get my first client? I've been trying for 7 months. What's going to be different now? But then they put aside their doubts anyways. They're like, okay, you know what? Maybe it could happen. Maybe it could happen. Let's see. And then it does happen. They're like, wow, shit. Wait a second. If I can get one client, that means I can get more clients. Then they start riding this high. They're like, oh, wait, I just hit my first 20K month. Wait, if I can hit my first 20K month, then I can also hit my first 40K month. Your world opens up. You see, your mind opens up a little bit. You start to conceive of the possibility that it's happening. You become so closed off because life sucked for the past 2 years, and now something good happened, and you actually focus on it and you expand it. That's the key to changing your conditioning, by the way. You look at what you do want, and you look at confirmation of that happening. I'm going to share with you this cycle, the mirror cycle of how life operates, how this mirror operates. This is going to make a lot more sense. But for now, what I want you to remember before we move forward is that life works with a delay. Because we don't understand this, we look for instant gratification, which is what society conditioned us with the cell phones, with the instant Amazon deliveries, with the television. We get this dopamine spike. It's right at our fingertips. So we become more wired for instant gratification now. So we expect it right now. We demand of reality right now. But reality takes the path of least resistance to deliver your goals. Remember, nature operates on its own principles, okay? Not what your mind's conception is, but it will give you what you want. That's for sure, okay? So Before we move forward to the mirror cycle of reality and what really influences reality, I want you to remember this. What is the overarching theme of your life? Is it that of life sucks? Or is it that of life's great? Right? Which one are you going to pick? Which one are you going to pick? Is it life sucks or is it life's great? Because whichever one you pick, the events that happen start to correspond to that. So let's say my overarching theme for the past 10 years has been life sucks. And now I want to change it to life's great. That's going to be hard to do, man, because there's no evidence now that life is great. But there is evidence. The thing is, there's always good and bad in everything, right? But you keep focusing on what's not there, and you're motivated by this fear rather than desire. Ask yourself this: anything that you want in your life, do you want it to avoid not having it? Or do you want it because you genuinely want to experience it? Do you genuinely want to know what it's like? Do you genuinely love it? Do you genuinely desire it? This is so key, because most of the time we want things, we don't even want it to experience it. We just want it to avoid the lack of not having it. We want the relationship to avoid not having one, to avoid getting old and dying alone. We want to be successful in entrepreneurship because we don't want to be poor. We want to be rich because we don't want to be poor, right? So initially what happens is this survival mentality starts driving you, right? I'm going to give you an example. My core emotional driver when I got started in this journey was I don't want to be mediocre. If I kept focusing on that, that's what reality would have reflected. Right? When I got into entrepreneurship, dreamt of doing $1 million months in my business, I said to myself, why do I want this? Well, I don't want to be mediocre. What do I want instead? I want to be extraordinary. That's what I started focusing on. I started to look at places in my life where I was extraordinary. Great, maybe I didn't have the best handwriting. Maybe I sucked at English. Where was I extraordinary? Math was a very strong suit for me. I'm looking for confirmations. Do you see that? That's how I ground my mind into believing. I trick myself into believing that this is real. This is happening. Because there is always evidence of both. There's evidence for both arguments in life. Life is inherently neutral, but you place a meaning on it. And by this meaning, your life unfolds. Okay? Now let's go forward with the mirror principle of reality. This is going to make a lot of sense, and this is going to clear up a lot of things. So here's the mirror principle of reality, and really how reality functions. I hope you could see this. So what most people do, the current cycle for most, let's call this the current. This is the current cycle for most. Most people look at their realities, they observe it, and then on the basis of what they're seeing, they form the attitude. They see poverty and they're like, I'm poor. That's the attitude. And then reality reflects this attitude. You're poor? Great, you're poor. And it gives you more of poverty. And then you see more of poverty, and then you form your attitude a little bit more. And then reality reflects more and more of it. And a year goes by, 2 years go by, you still fail in your entrepreneurship attempts. You still can't leave your professional career. Everything you try fails, because this is what you start to look for proof of. What's happening now is the effect is feeding out into the cause. Cause isn't making effect organically. Effect is polluting the cause, okay? And it's not serving you. Why I say polluting is because now it's not serving you anymore. This is the biggest key you got to understand. Once I understood this, my life changed. This is the current cycle for most. Now, in blue, I'm going to highlight what cycle you need to have to consciously break free from this Groundhog Day. Okay? It begins at the observation for the current cycle, what keeps you stuck at Groundhog Day. What you need to do is form the attitude first. This has to come first in the loop. Okay? Number one now is attitude. What is my attitude? What is that overarching theme? I'm a successful entrepreneur. Quasi's a successful entrepreneur. Kwasi's doing well at entrepreneurship. I'm wealthy. Proof. Reality will reflect this anyway. When you form this attitude, reality will reflect this. You don't have to do anything. The only thing you got to do, this is number 2, okay? Only thing you got to do now is confirm. So now you got to observe and confirm. So this is number 3. When you form this attitude, reality will inevitably give you something, some little thing that will show you that, oh, yeah, you are rich, it is working. So let's say, oh, my attitude is I'm rich. A client shows interest in my program. This is what happened, by the way, when I first started. Client shows interest in my program. I started getting views on YouTube. It's working. Mom, it's working. Great. You confirm. Okay? And you then use this confirmation to feed back into the cause. Now you let this effect feed back into the cause and make you stronger in your conviction that I am a great coach. I do give great value. I am great at making videos. I am making a lot of money. People love my programs. It starts to make this attitude even stronger. And then it becomes so powerful, then you just can't stop. You just keep winning. You can't help but win. This is what happens. I am great. And then this repeats over and over and over again. It becomes so strong that this becomes your reality. This becomes your default. Right? This becomes a part of your identity. That's it. It's that simple. But getting over the hump from shifting to the current to the ideal cycle, that's the biggest issue, right? So right now, most people look at what they don't have and they're like, I don't have, attitude formed. And then reality reflects this, give you more of I don't have. And then you do it over and over and over again. It's kind of like this. You know, people try a couple of times. Like sometimes I'll have clients in my program too. They'll try a little bit. They'll be like, you know, I went through the first couple of weeks of the program and nothing happened for me. It doesn't work. Like, what do you mean? You're looking for, you're literally going against what the premise of the program is. You can't, the rule of the game is you have to ignore what hasn't worked. You use it as feedback to improve, but you ignore it. You don't let it affect your emotional state. It's not the doubts and the worries that are the problem. It's the identification with them. When you start to notice them and then you start to let it feed your attitude, that's the problem. What has worked? Within the 2 weeks, what has gone great? Use that, right? So look for confirmation of what has worked rather than what hasn't. Because if you look for what hasn't worked, you're going to find a million of them. If you really, truly look for what has worked, you'll find a million of them as well. It's just one part of you. One self has become so strong. Your reticular activating system has been so focused on poverty, poverty, poverty. All you can see is poverty. Your lens has become, your filters have become polluted. So all you can see now is poverty. It takes a little bit of work to change this, man. It doesn't happen overnight. It can happen overnight, but it doesn't. Everyone's on their own journey. You got to remember that. You've got to be patient. Okay? So let me just do a quick recap. This is what we talked about today. We talked about the mirror principle, why this is the most powerful way of influencing your reality. If you understand this, I promise you, you'll become unstoppable. This combined with self-inquiry, detaching. Click up here for the video on that. Remember that reality is a mirror that reflects your relationship to it. What is your attitude to this mirror? What image are you presenting to this mirror? What emotions, what thoughts are you presenting to this mirror? What is your attitude towards life? What is that overarching theme you have for your life? The overarching the theme for my life is everything goes my way. I get into a car crash, somehow this is going my way. Next day becomes great. It just propels me onto higher levels. It's kind of like this. This is what happens. When you start to go on this new journey, life will give you tests, right? You start to go up a little bit, but then you have this moment when life tests you. But then if you coordinate this test right, you can either go like this, but if you coordinate it wrong, you go back down. It's what most people do. Most people go back down. They're like, shit, this car crash set me back so many bucks. Damn. Goes back down. But then if you're like, wow, somehow this car crash is great, okay? I don't care what it is. I can't see it right now. This is the advantage method, by the way. Click up here for that. Somehow this car crash is great, and then you go up. That's what happens. That's what the mirror reflects. You're like, what? Car crash is great? Mirror's like, car crash is great. Go up. So that's the overarching theme for your life, right? Oh, by the way, when I say car crash is great, it doesn't mean life will give you more car crashes. But life doesn't look at the content of your thoughts. It looks at the nature of it, right? It looks at the nature. Like, if it's kind of like, oh, Quasi, if I don't want money and I stop visualizing money, will money come? No, you can't be sincere with hating money. You get more of what you hate, you get more of what you love. Try hating money genuinely and sincerely. You won't get it. It won't work. That's why that doesn't work. But if you put a good meaning to it, then good things will happen to you. Life will unfold in the sincerity of your heart's desire. Okay? So what is the overarching theme for your life? Oh, understand that reality works with a delay. Okay? Every attitude you're forming now will reap its reward later. This is the biggest key you've got to understand. The mirror principle of reality. Current cycle for most is they first look at reality, they observe it, and then they use that as a basis to form their attitude. They're like, what am I seeing right now? Oh shit, I see failed relationships in my past. I see failed attempts at business in my past. That means I'm a bad business person. Attitude formed. You look at these events and then you form an attitude towards them. Events are neutral. You could look at these events and be like, it hasn't worked in the past. That means I'm on the right path. Okay? Because now I have feedback on what's worked and what hasn't. Now I'm on the right track. You form that attitude, dude, your life is going to transform. It's like you approach the fork in the road. Right? This is the positive attitude. This is the negative attitude. It leads you back into this cycle you've been playing over and over again. And then, based on the attitude, the mirror reflects it. Oh, you're a terrible businessman? Great. You're right. You are a terrible businessman. There you go. And then this cycle becomes vicious. The ideal model is where you put the observing and confirming at the end. Number one, you just form the attitude. You're like, life's great. Reality starts to reflect this. A little bit, right? Because you've just formed this new attitude. Reality will reflect this. Then you look for, where is life great? Oh yeah, look, something really good happened. I didn't get a parking ticket and I parked here. Life takes care of me. Boom. This starts the cycle. The chain reaction has begun. And that's it. So just to leave you off to really using this better, I'm going to leave you with a 3-step to using this mirror principle, the ideal cycle for yourself. Number 1, form attitude. This is what you should do now. Write down an overarching theme for your life. And whenever you go back to that old mindset, that old theme of things aren't working out, it's not going my way, ditch that. Remind yourself, this is just the old way of thinking. Consciously change it to, life is going my way. I just can't see it. Your mind just needs a little bit of proof. If you say, I just can't see it now, it'll be like, okay, cool. It's like when you tell a student who's like, teacher, I don't understand this question. It's like, don't worry, let's go through the semester, you will understand it. Just give it a little bit of time. But then it's not like you address that exact problem, but the student gets a eureka moment. But because he was patient, he got the answer. The answer came to him. He believed the teacher when he said, okay, just give it some time, it's gonna come. That's what it's like. Just give it some time. Work with it. Be patient with it. It's gonna come. Form the attitude. Number 2, when you do form the attitude, reality will immediately start reflecting it. It's gonna take a little bit of delay. It's gonna start reflecting it. Number 3, confirm. Observe and confirm this attitude. Strengthen it. Most people, they visualize and then they open one eye. They're like, what hasn't happened yet? Where is it going wrong? Not where is it going right? You ignore what's going wrong, what's not going your way, what you originally would have perceived as not going your way, and you look at what is going right. And that's it. That's all you got to do. This is going to be a very, very fun game for you, I promise. If you keep practicing this for the next couple of months, even the next couple of years, your life is going to go to absolute new heights. I'm really excited for you to try this out, okay? Thank you so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope this was helpful. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. And also, as I mentioned before, I'm super excited to announce the free one-to-one consult with me for the Reality Mastery Program is now open. For those of you who didn't know what the Reality Mastery Program is, it's the most powerful paradigm of manifestation. Over the years of my learning, really going through different areas of my life, I started to dissect out the principles that are applicable in all of them, okay? The reason why I was able to find my ideal partner, get into a really fulfilling relationship, start my entrepreneurship career, and within a year grew my business from absolute 0 to 100K months, $1 million run rate. It was all as a result of who I became. If you go back to my videos, you look at who I was when I first started my channel, who I am now, it's a complete stark difference. I am a different person because me, who I am, changed. My identity changed. And as a result, I started to experience these different facets and aspects of life. This is what we do with our clients here at the Reality Mastery Program. So if you're a business owner, you're stuck at a certain revenue level, you are a professional, you're looking to transition out, get more clarity around your life, you are a high performer, you're a creative looking to take your career to the absolute next level, make sure you click down here to sign up for the free one-to-one consult with me, and let's see if we're a good fit to work together. Okay. Also, I'm super excited to announce the free Facebook group is also open for you to take advantage of. So make sure you click the link in the description for that, and hope I see you there. Thanks. Till next time. Peace.